Narcissistic parents use punishment a lot, and they do it all throughout your life. Whether you're a small child growing up with a narcissistic parent or you are an adult now, and I imagine the people who clicked on this video are adults who've been through narcissistic abuse and maybe continue to deal with a narcissistic parent as they age. The punishments never stop. They keep on coming. And in this video, I'm going to examine why they punish you. And I'm also going to talk about things that you can do about that. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth. I'm a transpersonal psychologist, holistic nutritional chef, and best-selling author of Get Well Now, Healing Yourself with Food and the Power of the Mind and Heart. And I help wounded ACONs, adult children of narcissists, to become healed icons. And what's an icon? An icon is somebody who's independent, confident, original, and naturally you. All those things the narcissistic parent really divides you from. I help you get back or get to in the first place what those things are in my Iconic Me coaching program. It's therapy and coaching. Also in my summit, Toxic Parent Recovery Summit, and in my online course, Healing the 5 Primary Wounds of Parental Narcissistic Abuse, and on faculty with the Shift Network. Whew. Lots of stuff out there for you, and of course this YouTube channel. And if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to this channel so that more people can see these videos. So let's get to the topic at hand today. We're talking about punishment and narcissistic abuse. And narcissists, by and large, use punishment as a way to control you, as a way to hurt you. They're using punishment constantly, and there are a lot of reasons for this. And one of the primary ones is because of the way that a narcissistic person thinks. They think in very rigid terms. Everything is black and white, right and wrong. They're right, you're wrong. And the more you come to understand this, the better off things are going to be for you, unfortunately. But that rigid thinking is something that really keeps them in the whole idea of crime and punishment, of right and wrong, of this is what you're supposed to do. But what's so interesting is that they're constantly bending the rules and creating their own systems of right and wrong, their own systems of punishment, their own systems of crime. It's something that I call first name justice. And so just insert the first name of the narcissist in your life and then add the word justice. And that's going to be their entirely own unique justice system. If they don't like a law, they just throw it out and pretend like it's not a thing and it doesn't matter. So they're constantly violating the systems that are in place because they don't agree with it, or because people that they're being influenced by, which is kind of rare, but there are typically other narcissistic people that they may be influenced by that will be creating these punishment kinds of structures and these kinds of ways of thinking that are not in line with everyone around them, not in line with society, not in line with laws that have been established in a very clear and concise way to help protect people, to help us to find the criminal and put the criminal away and punish them, there we go, and to also get some compensation of some sort or some help for the victim who went through something that was criminal. So this first name justice thing is a big part of narcissistic abuse and how narcissists operate in the world. Another reason why they use punishment is because they lack empathy. When you lack empathy, you don't really think about, oh, if I do this to this person, it's going to impact them this way. If I punish them, this punishment is going to impact them in a way that could hurt them. Or maybe they already learned their lesson from something that they did. They don't think like that at all. So they only think in terms of what's best for them and how they can continue controlling you. And one of the ways that they control you is through punishment. And a primary manipulation tactic they use to punish you with is the silent treatment. And this could be described as the discard phase of narcissistic abuse. And the silent treatment is very different than if you need silence or you need some time after a fight to kind of work through things and figure out things and come back and discuss things. That's not going to happen with a narcissistic parent or narcissistic mate or boss. That's never going to happen. They're not going to sit down and talk with you. If they do, it's going to be performative. If there's any apology that comes your way, it's going to be, again, a performance. It's cognitive empathy, where they're like, well, here's my line that I need to say. My line is an apology that isn't real. And it's going to sound something like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Instead of, I'm sorry for the way that I treated you, and I can see how that would make you get really upset. They're not going to do that. So the silent treatment with a narcissistic person is always going to be about punishment, to make you feel bad, to keep you on edge, and make you wait until they're done punishing you. And so sometimes that can be, a few hours, it can be a few days, a few weeks, a few months, and even a few years and longer, where they're punishing you with their silence to keep you in your place. And so hopefully you won't do that again, because that's kind of how they're operating, is they don't want you to do that thing again. Anything that's going to make them look at themselves for even a split second that may touch their shame, touch their guilt, touch their anger, their fear, their jealousy, their envy, all of these, their vengeance, anything that's going to touch that, they're going to want to project that immediately out onto people around them. And that's something that they rely upon all the time. So let's talk about emotions here for a moment. The primary emotions that we're looking at when it comes to this particular idea of punishment is vengeance. And vengeance is something, it's they're always thinking about, how am I going to get back at you? How am I going to make you feel bad for what you did or what I did that they're not going to claim that they did anyway? How are they going to make you feel bad for it? One of the reasons they do this also is it's a smoke and mirrors thing, where they're taking the focus off of them and putting it on you. And this is like a blame shifting thing that they're doing, which is something they do constantly. And part of what this does too is it keeps you in that confused state where you don't really know which end is up. You don't really know where they stand. They don't want you to know where they stand, because again, it's easier to control you. It's easier to get you to stay silent, which is something that they really want from you. And they have all these different ways of getting your silence, of buying your silence essentially. And I have a whole video about, why we stay silent and what you can do about it. And it's a huge part of the fallout from narcissistic abuse. But punishment is, again, it's vengeance. And that energy of vengeance, that energy of, I have to get back at you, I have to make you feel horrible, I have to make you feel ashamed, I have to make you feel guilty. Now those emotions, so vengeance, shame, and guilt, those emotions come from the shame-driven disorder. So they're driven by shame all the time, and they're projecting it out on you. So you're going to have to take it. And one of the ways you take that is, you should be ashamed of yourself. Here's your punishment. And there's all kinds of ways that they'll punish you. They punish you using money to get back at you. That's a big way. They punish you using their words, using rage. As I mentioned, the silent treatment. They take things away from you. They take privileges away from you. They say they're going to do something for you, and then they just withdraw it. And that's all. They're constantly keeping you in this unsteady state that makes you feel horrible. It makes you feel unstable. And they want you to feel unstable because they want you to blame yourself for what's going wrong. They want you to blame yourself for what they did. They're not going to take accountability for that. So looping back to these emotions, think about how these emotions affect your physical body. Now, we know that emotions can make us sick. We say it all the time with things like, that person makes me sick to my stomach, or I'm just worried sick about this thing or that thing. And so we know, it's just in our everyday language, we know that we can get really anxious about things that we're really nervous about. We know that we can be sickened by the very presence of an individual or by things that people say that are awful. So we know this. But emotions can also make us well, and that's something that I talk about a lot in my practice, is emotional wellness and learning to embody those emotions that feel good to us, the things that we really want to feel, like peace, love, compassion, kindness, joy, empathy. Like empathy used for love and joy is very different than the empathy that you're using to try to detect what's wrong in the room. And that's how you get trained when you are the child of a narcissist and you grow up as an adult, and then you have this programming that's going on in your mind around empathy, around crime, around punishment, around judgment. Huge part of the whole crime and punishment thing. Judgment and criticism. The narcissistic parent uses it constantly to put you down and make you feel less than. So, because it's a hierarchy. They're the king or the queen, and they're way here up here at the top, and you are the servant, and you need to be way down here. And so they'll do whatever it takes to keep you down. So crime, punishment, all of those things. So back to what this does to your body over time. So it drains your experience, that feeling of vengeance, that vengeance being sought upon you, can drain your experience. It can drain your center of personal power that's in your stomach. And so then you might end up with ulcers, irritable bowel syndrome, digestive disorders in general. It can drain your throat. That's your center of communication and self-expression. This is how you show up in the world and how you express yourself. A lot of times they cut you off from the expression, your personal self-expression, because they don't approve of the thing that means the most to you. And that makes it hard because you want your parents' approval. It's something that's wired into us. It's hardwired into us. It's an archetypal thing where we want our parents' approval. But we're not going to get it from a narcissistic parent, no matter how hard we try. And this is one of the things that we have to learn to accept when we have a narcissistic parent. And it's not an easy task. So when you look at the ways that you're being drained, your system is being drained, I have a solution for this. It's called whole person integration technique. And what it does is it helps you to look at the emotions, how you're holding that in your energy field and thus in your body, how that's affecting your cellular memory in your body, how it's lodging in there along with the core negative beliefs and experiences that got it lodged there in the first place. And so we look at that. What is the emotion itself, thinking, feeling, and believing? And we help you get to a place where you understand the holistic connections so you can go, oh, wow, I want to let that go. And as you let go of the energy and we transform that and transmute it, embody those emotions that I talked about that make you well, that make you feel good, you'll feel so much better. You'll feel like you're more connected to peace than you are to punishment. And the feelings that go along with that, the shame, the guilt, the pain, the anger, the fear, the energy of vengeance, and how that agitates emotions in your own being, on top of the emotions that are being thrown at you. So, it's a lot, right? So, but you can release it. And what happens when you release these thoughts, feelings, belief, and this energy from the field and from the body is that your perception shifts. And things become more clear to you. Things that used to bother you before just don't bother you in the way that they used to. And you get less and less wrapped up in this whole crime and punishment cycle that the narcissistically abusive person in your life puts you in. Because they're putting you in that cycle. And then they're training you to be the same way. They're training you to hold grudges. And so really look at yourself too. And like, where are you judging people? Where are you criticizing? Where are you punishing people? Are you using the silent treatment because for similar reasons? And if you're doing that, don't condemn yourself for this and don't think you're a narcissist. If you're on this video and you're really feeling the things that I'm saying, you're really understanding and you feel heard and seen and all of that, that's great. Because it's speaking to your empathy, it's speaking to your intuition, it's speaking to your soul, your cellular memory, which is there as well. And that's really what we're going to be bringing out and helping you with. And that's what I do in my Iconic Me coaching. It's a therapeutic coaching program. And so if you are interested in that, then just book a free call with me, and we can talk about that. They're in the links below and in the description. Just book a free call with me, and if you think you might want to work with me, we can talk about working one-on-one together. And then I also have a bunch of other things that I can help you with, and then people that I can refer you to as well in my huge community of healers that are world-class in helping people to heal from all the different holistic wounds that happen when you have a narcissistic parent. So I hope this information has really helped you. I hope that you've gotten something out of this, or you've been really thoughtful about how crime and punishment, that the whole theme of punishment, shows up in your life and what it's done to you. Pull out your journal and write about what came up for you as you listen to what I had to say today. And let me know how I can help you. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I hope this information will help you get well now.